kia ora koutou, great to see you all. And no mai haere mai, welcome to another opportunity to really work on your waist. This is the third time we've been going for that. So hopefully you have got some props, maybe a couple of cans or some small hand weights, the rolled up blanket, or maybe you have something else at home as well that you can use. So when you're ready, just lie yourself over maybe a rolled up towel. If you've got a blue ball, welcome to use that too. Kia ora, Kath. And I do have a couple more of these for sale. If you want to buy one, I'm happy to deliver them. So maybe you've got a blue ball you can put underneath your upper back. Maybe you've got a block you can put underneath your forehead, or a little roller underneath your upper back. So just between the shoulder blades there, head down, and then resting the head on your, whatever you've got really, blanket, blocks, or hand towels. And just tucking the chin, lengthening up to the crown of the head. Take your arms to your sides, and whatever feels good for your legs here, knees together, feet apart, or stretch the legs out, and just come into that beautiful softened breath. So bringing your hands down to your belly can help. We can even take our fingertips to our pubic bone and the heels of the hands onto the hip bones. That can be a nice way of just helping to find a little bit more of that feeling in our lower belly there, of lifting and lowering. And just letting gravity open and widen the collarbones. Take the shoulder blades towards each other and draw down the back, and just settling here. And you might be able to lower one or two things, lower your block, or take the block away as the back of the neck begins to lengthen. Just here for 1 more minute. So maybe beginning to add your pelvic floor lifts at the end of an exhale. And because we are focusing on our sideways, our obliques, with every exhale, thinking of drawing these sideways up, tucking them up under the rib cage, or drawing them up towards the side of the ribs here. So inhaling, great to see those love hearts, keep them coming. Let me know that you're here, let me know that you can hear me. So great to have thumbs up and hearts, thanks so much. Inhaling, letting the belly lift. Exhaling, drawing the side waists up under the armpits. Inhaling, exhaling, draw those side waists up. One more time. We're focusing on the front, the anterior obliques, and bring them up again one more time. Beautiful work. Okay, so just staying where you are in this lovely opened position. Bring your arms straight ahead. If you want to, you're welcome to have a block between your hands at this point, or you could just pretend you've got a block and reach those arms up. We're just going to push them away and roll them back a couple of times, just getting some mobility in those shoulders, feeling that they are moving but our ribs aren't, so resisting the movement of the ribs here. Beautiful. Maybe exhaling and inhaling, just letting things warm up, soften and lubricate here. Beautiful. And then we can hunch our shoulders up to our ears, draw them back down a couple of times. And again, we're resisting the opening of our rib cage. So keep drawing those ribs down away from you, even though you're stretched up over a roller. Your roller could be sideways, your blanket could be sideways as well. And one more up and down. Beautiful. Let's go on to some little scissoring actions. So this is really important that we don't, as we take an arm up, pop or flare back, that you resist this. So how short a distance between the bottom of those ribs and your hip bones can you maintain? Inhale, prepare. Exhale, right arm up, left arm away from you. And inhale, back to the midline. Exhale, left arm up, right arm down. Inhale, back to the middle. Exhale to move. Inhale to return. Exhale to move. Inhale to return. Exhale away. Inhale, return. Use that exhale to really draw the ribs down, to draw the side of the waist up to the ribs, so keeping lots of resistance there. And right away you might be feeling those side waists working and having some action here. Feet and knees are hip distance apart as always in that Pilates stance. Beautiful. It's about control. You could absolutely at this point grab your cans or your little hand weights. I've just got 1 kg here because this is really just about mobility, and exactly the same thing here. Exhale away, inhale, return. Exhale away, keep the ribs still, and inhale, return. Tucking the chin, lengthening through the crown of the head, softening the front of the jaw. Give it a wee wriggle and a wee jiggle. Breathing through the nose if you can. And just for a stretch, let yourself completely relax here now. Just stretch away as long as you can with that right arm, as long as you can with the left arm. Let the ribs pop, just completely stretch it out. Big breath in, and let's take a big stretch to the other side. So releasing, arms out of the shoulder socket a little bit. Let the weight stretch away from you. Let the ribs expand. Let everything go. Big breath in and back to the midline. We'll just take some little circles here. So you could keep having the hand weights or cans, or you could take those away. Just some small circles. And again, we don't want the ribs flaring here. So just take a moment to exhale, close the ribs, resist the flare of the ribs. And then we will exhale, move our arms out. Inhale, bring them back. Just little semicircles really. Just small circles. A little bit like the single leg circles we do on we did last week. Beautiful. Exhaling away, inhaling back, just moving the arm and the shoulder socket. The shoulders don't need to be moving, they're stabilizers here. You keep using your exhale to draw the side waists up under the armpits. One more and we'll change direction. So draw away, up and around. Exhale away, inhale back, or you could inhale away, exhale back. I like that better. Inhale away, exhale back. So you can take yourself in opposition. Remember, the body loves opposition. Ribs are going down as arms are going up. That beautiful opposition. One more time, take that opposition. And then again, we'll just use the weight to open up the arms, and maybe they can rest on the mat. Just completely relax here. Let everything open and have a nice stretch there. Great job. Great to see so many of you are watching. Keep giving me some thumbs up and some love so I know that you're there. Maybe let me know who you're practicing with. Maybe you're practicing with someone in your bubble. It would be great to know who you're with. And we'll do exactly the same thing now with a flat back. So you can roll to one side, take your proper way. Do support the back of the neck, so popping the head at the back of the, underneath a little towel here. And again, your choice here, you could go back to having your hand weights or no hand weights, and we're just going to do exactly the same thing as we've just done. We'll forwards and backwards a couple of times, so that sort of serratus push-up feeling. We did this last week with a strap around our hands as well, another variation. And then up towards the ears and down a couple of times, just mobilizing. And then settle those shoulders. Remember, your scapulas are stabilizers, so they're not moving around now as we take our scissors. Inhale, prepare, and exhale. Right arm away, left arm down. Inhale back, exhale away, inhale back. Now, because you're so clever, we're going to add a little bit more movement here. So can you begin to take your heel slide, sliding right leg away, left leg away. I'll just slide myself up so you can see. Sliding. You might get a little bit of rhythm going with those legs. Sliding. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, maybe don't even look at me, maybe just shut your eyes and let your opposite arm, opposite leg slide away. Exhaling, draw them back to the middle. Inhaling away, I've got left hand, right leg. Exhale back to the middle. Inhale away, exhale back. And if you're someone with a roller at home, that I know a few of you have bought rollers off me, jump on your roller, put it lengthways on your spine and do this whole series with yourself lying on a roller here. These little exercises we're doing right now. Or if you do this again at a later date, try doing this first section on a roller. Beautiful. And if you're feeling super clever, perhaps you can begin to think about our other exercise we often do in this position, knees and feet together. That's the harder position, or knees and feet hip distance apart. And we'll go on to opening up our right knee. Exhale, draw it in. We're using those side waists again. Inhale, left hip opening and closing. I don't mean the hip, I mean the knee. These are knee openers. The hip is definitely not opening, it's staying nice and still. And we're going to try and add some little circles of the arms here. So when you're ready, opening up your arms and closing your arms. And then on the left leg, opening up and closing. So I'm just doing one big circle in time with one whole leg movement. That's what's worked for me. See what works for you. Lots of control, lots of brain work here. Bit like rubbing your tummy and patting your head at the same time. Two completely different movements. I bet you're glad I can't see you do this. And it's change direction. Keep going with the legs exactly the same. Smooth and steady. Still breathing. Beautiful. Karawi tō mahi. Keep up this amazing coordination and concentration and control. How low are your ribs? Can you keep drawing the front ribs to the back of the mat? One more and pause. How'd you go? Okay, let's move on. We'll take a little twist here, so knees up to your chest if that's nice for you. Let's take our knees to the right, and maybe you can open up your arms into a capital T. Look over to the left. That's nice for you. We can even put our right hand on the outside of the flank and give it a little bit of pressure to get a little tiny bit more stretch. Big breath in, and then exhale. Take ourselves in the other direction, so legs to the left. Open up the arms to the right, maybe gazing over to the right, maybe taking that left hand and again applying a little bit of pressure to put a little bit more the stretch. Lengthening this hip down. We want the long waist here, so we're always trying to lengthen the hip bone down away from us, not let it crunch up. Crunching might be a sign of a little bit of weakness there. Okay, so let's roll like a little ball now. So bringing those knees up to the chest, we can take the little blanket away. So rolling up into a ball shape. Can you pelvic tilt and bring that bottom up? Try to use your biceps here to keep these knees nice and close. Inhale, exhale, and rolling on your back a few times. Try not to come up all the way and break the curve. Try and keep this beautiful C curve the whole time. Flexed feet. We're going to end up being in hundreds. 2, and next time back, pause, stay here, unfurl the legs, so they could be straight up, they could be further away, hands can be straight ahead, all sorts of fancy things can happen here. Maybe heels together, feet apart, and let's pump the hands down. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn the palms, inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, you can always bend your knees and have your head down as well. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw those legs away from you. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Let's just do 10 more. Inhale, exhaling and inhaling. Take your knees into your chest. Have a little break. You might like to take a few nods of the head or a twist of the head. A couple of little nods. Beautiful. We've warmed ourselves up a little bit more. Let's go on to some Pilates curls and hulas. So as we did last week, you could absolutely put a block, a blanket, your rolled up towel underneath your head again, so you don't have to come back all the way. And you could absolutely put your blue ball, a block, a pillow between your knees if you're wanting to really get those inner thighs to work a little bit more. This is all about those ribs. The ribs are curling down so much that our head just happens to float off the mat. The shoulders move first, the back moves first. The head is just going along for the ride. So if you did my yoga class yesterday, that was something we really focused on with Jim, was that don't initiate the movement with the head. Initiate the movement with the closing of the ribs and the lifting of these shoulders and back ribs up off the mat. You could absolutely put a hand or two behind the back of the head as well. Let's all start with our hands behind the back of the head first while we just get this movement going. So big breath in. As you exhale, close your elbows a little bit. So that enhances that feeling of closing the ribs, and you might right away feel some more muscle there between the ribs, and nod the head. Beautiful. Inhaling, relax and open. Exhaling, close the elbows, close the ribs, maybe nod the head off the mat, just as if you had a little ball underneath the chin, gazing between your legs. One more, let's do one more like that. Exhaling, close the ribs, nod, and back. You could absolutely keep it this level, keep this focus of drawing the ribs towards each other. But if you'd like a little bit more, one hand or both hands can come away from you as you reach forward with your Pilates curls. So reaching forward, curling back, trying to not let those ribs release, trying to keep this tension between the top of the hips and the ribs. If you've got enough control, pause at the top here, scrunch the shoulders, roll the shoulders back, and are you just resting on your little scapula there? Roll back down. One more like that. Pause at the top. Can you relax that neck a little bit more? Roll back down. We can keep going like this. So you've got two options now. The third option is to add hulas, stacking your left hand over right. Big breath in, exhale, nod of the head, roll up to your knee, take right knee to left knee, roll back down. And swap left hand underneath, right on top, exhaling up, over, inhaling back, swap the hands, left on top, exhaling up and over, back we come, swap the hands, left to right leg, swap the hands, right to left leg. Beautiful, keep going. These are called hulas. We're using our side waist, so keep going for a few more. You might be doing our first exercise. focusing on closing the ribs. You might be taking Pilates curls, you might be taking your hulas. Just a few more here. Keep breathing nice and steady. Keep curling. Beautiful job. Okay, and let's take all this equipment away and we'll go on to some glute bridges. So we'll do a little bit of extension now. So feet are nice and close to your bottom, hip distance apart, pushing through these heels. Again, handy to have your cans or weights by your side, just in case you do want to use them. So let's take a couple of pelvic tilts, just rolling forwards and backwards a few times on that pelvis. Beautiful. And when you're ready, curling your pelvis up, squeeze the glutes, rolling up. Just till you could fit one of your fists or both fists underneath your bottom, no higher than that. So go ahead and pop your fists there and roll back down. Beautiful. Can you feel your bottom working? Squeeze at the top, keep squeezing, roll back down. Beautiful. Rolling up and rolling back down. You could absolutely grab those weights, take robot arms and keep rolling up and down. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, keep going, bring your arms straight up, like the shoulders back, less base of support. The other little challenge you could give yourself is just an inch or by centimetres, curl those toes and take your toes further away from your bottom. Beautiful. And last of all, we can add a little bit of movement here. Turn the fists down and we can take arms down, pelvis up, pelvis down, arms up, moving with control. So really just finding the best place for you here. You might just be continuing with double pelvic lifts, glute bridge lifts. You might be in robot arms. You might have your arms straight up. Or you might be having movement of the arms, no weights. Movement of the arms with the weights. Keep squeezing the glutes to go up, squeezing the glutes to go down. That's the most important thing. This is a glute bridge exercise. We don't want to really lose our connection with the glutes here. So everything else is just a way to make things harder. You keep coming back to your glutes. Trying to roll up one vertebra at a time. A few more seconds here. We're building up stamina, so we like to do these for a good long minute. Beautiful. And more up. And one more down. Bring your hips up one more time. Take your hands to your sides. Let's take our palms of our hands onto the sides of our flanks. So you're pushing in. Elbows are on the mat. Nice and long through the back of the head. And you can either be toe tapping. I'm just showing you that right now. Left and right. Left and right. We're using our side waists here. It's all about keeping stable and still in the hips. Maybe heel tapping. Are your hips still? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that your hips are nice and still. If they're still, we can keep going here. So maybe you can push through your right heel really, really firmly. Push that right heel and extend your left leg. Let it just toes tap, extend, toe tap and extend. Draw these sideways down away from you. Don't let yourself crunch. And I can feel my sideways helping away here. Your right glute's going to be really working. Your sideways are really working. Let's do 4. And again, robot arms if you want. 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way down. Feel free to have a little tuck, a twist. And let's try that on the other side. So just have a wee wriggle and jiggle, maybe tilting one hip up, one hip down, as if you're walking down some funny stairs with your hips. Pelvic tilts, whatever feels like it releases any tension you might have. And then we'll roll up again. Beautiful job. This time we're really pushing into the left leg, extending the right. If that's what you're up to, you might still be doing those toe taps and heel taps. Once you know that you're nice and stable here, your hips are not moving at all, let me know. Hands could be on robot arms or straight up ahead to make that base of support even less. Keep drawing this right hip down as in towards your feet. So lengthening through the side waist. Don't let it crunch. And let's just take 4 and 3. Squeeze that left glute. 2 and 1. Woohoo! Great job. Onto your tippy toes. Arms up. I'm going to hit the wall here. Hopefully you won't. As you slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, let your arms reach away from you. I'm going to just fold my elbows together so I still get that lovely stretch. One vertebra at a time. Nice job. Okay, we'll do a second set of that, and you could absolutely, if you want to, use your hand weights and end up in sort of a bit of a dead bug scenario all over again. So let's squeeze the glutes, roll up. From the top, you could be toe tapping, option 1, and a really good option it is, really safe, heel tapping. And again, these are both really great things to do on a roller, lying lengthways if you've got one at home. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, we'll do alternating this time. So if that's too much for you, go back to about 10 reps on the right, 10 reps on the left. Otherwise, pushing through the left leg, extending the right, and then pushing through the right, extend the left. Don't rush here. Take those hands, push them into the hips. Just establish that your hips are nice and still. If you've got really flexible hips, and you know who you are out there, I've probably flagged that to you before, this will be really hard. So there's no need to rush here at all. Just keep lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. If you want a little bit more, you could begin to take opposite arm, opposite leg. Just bending the elbows is absolutely fine. And of course, if you've got those weights, you could absolutely add that little final variation here, making it a little bit harder. You can either have a straight arm or a bent arm, really whatever makes you feel that you are doing a good job here. Just check your legs out. Just notice I've begun to do some external rotating. So maybe just keep thinking of pushing your big toes straight away from you. Don't let yourself start doing funny things with your feet, turning the legs out or in. You want to track those knees and toes in one nice straight direction. Let's do 4. Are your butts burning? Hope so. Mine is. 3, 2, and 1. Onto those tiptoes again, and just come down one vertebra at a time. Enjoy this beautiful stretch here. If your lower back is sore in places like that, that might mean this exercise is a bit hard for you. So go back to those first exercises. Really get those glutes fired up. If our lower back is hurting, sometimes that can mean it's actually overworking and doing the job of the glutes. Okay, so let's take ourselves up again into a nice roll, rolling a couple of times. We're going to end up on our knees, so any way you can to get to your knees would be great. I'm just going to take my props out of the way, bit of safety first. Good to have those weights nearby if you want to use them. So we'll just go to some of the little exercises we've been working on, because we've really been focusing on these front side waists, and we'll keep working on those today a little bit more. So once you're on your knees, we'll take some stretches here. So when you're ready, bring your right leg forward, tuck the tailbone under, And think about what that back leg's doing. It's really active. We're pushing the big toe into the mat, or maybe you've tucked the toe under. Nice job. And if you want to add a little bit more, you could take your right arm down to your side, extend the left, stretch up nice and long here, or maybe hold onto the elbows and stretch up and tip and lift if you can over to one side, feeling a really big stretch all through that side. And back. If you've got blocks, absolutely use them, take them down to the mat so that we're not hunching, and otherwise we'll just take some runner's lunges. So we want a lovely long straight back here. If you can't have that on your own, if you're crunching over, use some blocks. Otherwise, take as long a stance as feels comfortable for a Monday morning for you. We'll rock back, tuck the chin down, and then come forward again. So last week we did some stretches with straps on our back. This is just another variation, but it's really important to keep stretching out our hamstrings. Really important for our walking, and we're all walking at the moment. So we're trying to keep our stride as long as we can. Trying to be able to heel strike or strike the ground with our heel as we stride. So we get that heel toe action, which sends that kinetic message up the body, turn on the glutes, turn on the pelvic floors. Helps us in so many ways. Beautiful job. One more forward. This time back, tuck the chin, let yourself completely relax here if you can. Head down towards your knees. Beautiful. And then back up. We'll go back to where we began. So left leg forward this time, tuck of the tailbone, not a sickled foot, but a straight foot or a tucked under foot. Tuck that tailbone. You're feeling a lovely stretch on this long right side. Inhale, lift the arm up, and maybe holding onto the armpits again and lifting up and over on your other side. And coming back to the midline, hands down to the mat or blocks, and just on your other leg, rocking backwards and rocking forwards. Beautiful. As you're warming up, make your stance as long as you can, tucking the chin, gazing down to the thigh, inhaling forward, exhaling, lunging back. And you don't have to move as quickly as me. If you want to stay in one position, you're welcome to. If you want to lift up the back leg and wriggle from side to side, really whatever is helping you to loosen up here. As I talked about yesterday, often a sore back can actually come from other tightnesses in our body, particularly the quads, the hamstrings. So keep stretching. Great thing to do when you're watching all that Netflix. Perfect. One more forward. This time back, pause here, tuck the chin, let yourself completely stretch. Big breath in and let's sigh it out. Lovely. Okay, so we'll go on to our clams, and last week we had a go with those at the wall, and I really do recommend, particularly if you have those flexible hips, that you do continue with your clams at the wall. And they're definitely part of my daily practice, helping me to get a lot stronger in my glutes. Let's start out with those knees at about 90 degrees. Definitely have your head on your bicep or in your hand, whatever feels relaxed. For some of my girls, it's nice for them to actually hold something as well, so they can really relax their chest and neck. And we're just going to bring this top hip down and away from us, and the knee slightly hangs over the bottom knee. Flex the feet, and then we're drawing the knee up ever so slowly, pausing and drawing it back down. And right away, if you want to know if your waist is working, just take a horseshoe shape, hold on to your waist in between your ribs and your hips, and you'll feel it working, particularly as you lift and pause at the top. take your time here. We're doing this for about a minute. So it's not really about how many reps you're pumping out, especially you speedy speedsters. I can see some speedy names up there. So slow it down. And you could absolutely, if you've got a blue ball, put that in front of you, use that to help push into as you lift and lower. That will just give you a little bit more core power. So keep drawing the top hip down towards your feet, lengthening through your waist. As you exhale, keep thinking of pulling the waist up under the armpits. We're trying to lengthen, we're trying to find that opposition again, that opposition that the body loves so much. You've got another 20 seconds. Haere tonu whānau, you're doing so well. Good job. Keep lengthening through your side waist, pausing at the top, lowering back down. Beautiful. Let's take a variation if you want to, or a second set. So gliding those feet up. Same thing. When the feet come up, we're inclined to maybe crunch in here, shorten this distance. Can you lengthen that distance away from you? So it's just those feet and knees lifting at the, the feet lifting and calves lifting at the knee joint. We don't have to involve the hip joint. And again, we're lifting both up, lifting the top knee, lengthening it away from us, closing it back down. Lifting up, lengthening for a few seconds, closing back down. And again, you can put your hand on your side waist, check that you're feeling something. Let me know if you're feeling something. You can give me your wow face or your heart or your thumbs up. Let me know that this is working for you. We're working on those front side waists. Beautiful. And again, if you've got that blue ball, pushing in gently to help just get a little tiny bit more work. All about exhaling. Really exhaling deeply, pulling up the pelvic floors, pulling up your side waist. Beautiful. You've got just 10 seconds. Haere tonu, keep going. Yay. Nice job. We can do a third variation, or you might continue with where you're at. Lengthen the legs out this time. Draw the top hip away again from you. And we're going to put your foot on your back, or knee or thigh or shin, wherever it really rests. Draw the hip away again. Open and shut again. So this is, you can see, this is going to help us with our kickstand when we do our long side series. It will help us with our standing on one leg, which we do every day when we walk. So just using your level of rotation that you have. Remember, I have a very small amount of rotation, so yours might look very different than mine, but the main thing is, which will be the same as me, is this hip moving. If this hip point is opening and shutting, you've gone a little bit too far. So remember, it's about control, and I'm really feeling that squeeze and that tightening at the back of my bottom now, the bottom of my bottom. I hope you are too. Let's just do this for another few seconds. I can see the clock. We're just about there. Lengthen through your side waist. As you exhale, draw your waist up under the ribs here. Pull up your belly button, tuck it under the ribs, and have a little break. Beautiful. If you do have a ball that can go between your feet, a battle of the dominant leg might occur as you squeeze that ball, head down. And remember, if this isn't going to work for you, if you find your neck is getting involved, just glide your top leg up instead. If you don't have a ball or a block you can put between your legs, Kate Pie, all good. Just lift and lower both legs. If you can, roll the top hip forward a little bit. As we get tired, we can begin to roll the hip away from us. And in time, you might just have one finger on the mat. Kind kind of need a bit of a finger for balance when we're lying on our side, but you might find you don't need one in time. Beautiful. One more time. Up. Keep squeezing those legs. Oh, one more. Yay. That's done something, that's for sure. Okay, so we want to get to the other side, so we can take a nice little teaser on the way, rolling onto the back, tucking our head, pulling up the tummy again, taking a couple of rolls. And the next time you're on the back of the sit bones, pause and stay here. You could definitely keep your feet and knees bent or flex the feet, or you could extend your arms, maybe extend your legs. Beautiful job. Let's hold here for 3 and 2 and 1. Knees in and swivel to the other side. Great job. Just pause here for a second and set yourself up. Top knee slightly hanging over the bottom knee, flexing both feet, drawing your top hip away from you, lovely and long through the side waist. And let's just glide up and glide down. Nice job. No rush here. Like I say, we're doing this for about a minute, so it's not about how many we can do. If you did have a ball, absolutely use that to help push into. Get a little bit more side waist in action. All about your exhale. Really focus on that exhale. Think of lifting everything up, 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 up as you exhale. 10 seconds to go. Kia kaha. Be strong. Lifting. Pausing for a second. Lifting. Pausing for a second. Beautiful. Lifting both feet up and again draw the top hip away from you. Gliding up, pausing, gliding down. Keep lengthening, lengthening, lengthening through this top waist. How long can it be? Another 30 seconds. Keep going. You can do it. Cut a few here. Go for it. Last 20. Last 15. We're just about there. Doing so well. Roll the shoulder back. Give the jaw a wee wriggle just in case some tension's developed there. Pick your feet up if they've dropped for the last 5 seconds. Enough time for a big breath in, slowly exhale down. Beautiful. Extend your legs and bend the top leg. So the hips, as always, are like 2 headlights. They're staying forward at all times. It's just the knee that's lifting, but it's actually the femur in the hip socket that's doing the work. So sometimes I talk about stirring up a casserole, that our pelvis is a bowl, and this big femur is like a spoon. So we're just taking it from side to side, not moving the hips. Bit of disassociation here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, pause, exhaling. Inhaling, pause, exhaling. Inhaling, pause, exhaling. Almost there. Okay. Again, grab whatever you have to hand that can go in between your ankles here. Squeeze both legs in, maybe head down, maybe lifting top leg only. Gliding up, gliding down. Again, trying to not get the hips getting too involved. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through this bottom hand so you're feeling the side waist on the ground here, lifting up off the mat. Roll the top hip forward about a centimetre. Keep going, Koto. We've got a couple more to go. I wonder how even you are, if you feel stronger on one side than the other. And we've done that. Fantastic. I think we deserve a nice stretch here. So do you remember Crescent from last week where we stretch out into a big long shape? Beautiful, like a Tadasana, a mountain pose. And then just walking your, you can bend our knees, lift our pelvis up, take it to the right, then extend the legs. Walk our arms over to the right as well, maybe crossing left over right, or maybe holding onto elbows. Just use your shoulders to sort of walk yourself up a little bit higher so you get that lovely length again through the side waist as much as you can. And of course, if your shoulders don't like being above your head, you could have them by your side, or use blankets and props to support them. We don't want floating arms like this. That's pretty hard work for them. Shut your eyes and come back to your beautiful belly breathing here. Just relax completely. Let the exhale really work for you. Beautiful job. You deserve a nice stretch and a relax here to give you your second wind for the rest of the class. And there's no rush at all. When you're ready, let yourself come back to the midline, bend the knees again, and we can lift up and just swish our hips to the right and take our legs to the left and our arms up and overhead to the legs. Rather than crossing across our face, either out into a cactus or at our sides, if that's not going to work, having them over our head. And again, maybe someone's crossing our ankles, crossing the top, the right ankle over the left, can give us a little bit more extension here. And just shut your eyes, focus on breathing, slowing down your breath, turning your parasympathetic nervous system on with those slow exhales. And walking back to neutral, and we can roll onto our tummies. And again, if you happen to have a roller at home, great place to use your roller right now. So I'll just quickly demonstrate that, and the rest of you, if you remember what to do for your cobra, you could do that. So hands at your waist, squeeze elbows in, and bring yourself up. Otherwise, if you've got a roller, very similar idea. Roll the shoulders down the back, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen the crown of the head to get a little bit of lift. Try and find your pubic bone on the mat and keep that pubic bone down, and then take yourself away. Relax completely wherever you are. We'll take a second set of either your locust or using your roller. So again, rolling your elbows in, lengthening up to the crown of the head, get those shoulders roll down the back. How active through your legs can you be? So maybe you're pushing your toes into the mat, lifting the knees, roll back down, have a nice break there. You could keep going like that with your roller, otherwise we'll go on to our locust. So we'll take our arms to our sides, palms up, and we'll tuck the toes. So tuck those toes, turn them over so that you can lift the knees up off the mat. We still want to keep a connection here. So for a lot of my girls, it's quite helpful to have a towel or rolled up blanket along the pubic bones and top of the hips here, just to help find that space in the lower back. So I'll just show you what that looks like as well. So if you can, tucking the tailbone here. Because I'm quite sway back, I actually like to physically lift my bottom up and tuck myself. So I can really find that length in my lower back here. And then draw those legs away from you, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and again, just establish you've got that lovely long straight back. Palms up, arms roll up, tuck your chin, and then can you keep your ribs closed and bring your shoulders up. Finding some beautiful length through the lower back here. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head, lengthening through your heels. 3, 2, 1, and turn your head. I have to keep turning my head the same direction, but you can swap your head in between. Let's take a second set. So onto your tummy. Establish your pelvic tilt here. Tuck your toes, lift the knees. Roll your arms back, lift the shoulders and lengthen those arms away from you. Gliding up and holding. If you can, close your ribs so you get a little bit more lift. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and again, kia toe relaxed, turn your head the other way. We're going to add our te waiwai koko, our swimming legs to this, and if you want to, you could absolutely add your swimming arms. I can see some people on my little list there who definitely could do some swimming arms. So, transitioning from there again, tuck the toes, rolling up, lengthening through the arms, and just point the toes. Now our legs are up right away. Point the toes and you can start swimming those legs. If you want to add the arms, just glide the arms forward and begin to bring opposite arms, opposite legs working. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax here, whatever feels nice for you. I quite like to take that hip capsule stretch, so right leg out at a little bit of a 90-degree angle and arms out into cactus, looking away from your knee. So right leg, so I've got left leg out, looking to the right, just looking the opposite way. And when you're ready, we can take that the other way, up into a little 90-degree angle, looking the opposite direction. If that's not nice for you, you can absolutely look the same direction. It is a big twist. We're asking our spine to twist. Okay. And from here, just push up to your knees and we'll find ourselves in mermaid. So our last little challenge here, and we're really what we've been heading towards, which is our side plank. So as I talked about last week, if some of these exercises aren't appropriate for you, sitting on a chair and doing single leg, disappears from view, single leg transfers on a Swiss ball, so lifting up one leg at a time, is absolutely a great place for you to be if these other shoulder type exercises aren't good for you, if your shoulders or wrists don't like them. Otherwise, we are in our mermaid position. Beautiful. And from mermaid, we're going to come into side plank. And again, if side plank is no good for you, let's all start here on kneeling. Let's do the first variation first, and we'll go on to our side plank. So onto your knees, please, koto. And bring your right leg out. Push the heel into the mat, glute on, arms out nice and wide. Beautiful. Let's inhale up and over, have a lovely big stretch. And then we'll exhale across. If you did yoga with me yesterday, we've done this. This is a couple of times now. This is a beautiful Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. This might be enough for you. Otherwise, you could definitely add some lifting and lowerings of that top leg. Awesome. Forward and backwards. backward, just 2 or 3, keeping the hips still, or pausing and staying here. Can you close your ribs? And last of all, lengthen, look away, and back, lower the leg. Beautiful. Try that on the other side. Lengthen the leg away, push that heel really firmly into the mat, arms out, stretch out, fingertips onto the mat, and please do use a block if you need to get that beautiful length through the side waist. It makes a huge difference if you need it. And then once we're here, you could either pause and stay here, or maybe you can take your foot forward and backward just 3 times. 2, 3, maybe up and down. 1, 2, 3, look away and stretch. And glide back. You could do that for a second set, otherwise we will go on to our next variation into mermaid. You could also take mermaid as your alternative. Remember, mermaid is this one here. We come forwards and backwards, taking the side stretch. So those are 2 alternatives, 3 alternatives you can do if side planking is not for you today. But if side planking is for you today, I've got my legs heading towards the left, my right hand palm down underneath my shoulder. And it takes a little bit of figuring out how long to be here. Option 1, coming up into the knees, and we are in a, you can slide the knees until you're in a knee side bend. Option 2, just stay there for your knees, slide up and slide your legs away from you until you are an Egyptian leg. So you've got your bottom leg in front of your top leg. And option 3 would be to slide the legs away, stack the legs and come up into Vashisthasana or side plank. So wherever you are, just hold it, and that might be enough for you. If you've got a little bit more, we can take our fist and add a little tiny bit of rotation just in the thoracic spine. We're not letting the hips get involved. 1 more forward, 1 more back. Get the top arm stretch away, look away towards your hand, have a big stretch wherever you are. And then coming back down with control to mermaid. And wherever we are, we'll just do another little mermaid here. Lifting up and over. Exhaling, and again, depending on your range, you may be able to get your forearms on the mat. You might need to have a little rolled up blanket underneath your cheek. If your cheek is lifting, you could do your mermaid with crossed legs. You could do your mermaid with the legs out in front of you, Amanda style. Perfect. Okay, and let's take ourselves to mermaid in the other direction. So again, you've got many places you can be here. Seated leg transfers. You could be doing our side kicks on the knees, kneeling side kicks. You could continue with mermaids, or come with me and play with your side plank. So chances are if you're on your knees on one side, you'll be on your knees this side. If you had Egyptian legs, you'll be in Egyptian legs, etc., etc. Mostly we are a little bit even. So wherever you are, top arm up, push through this nice straight arm, slide yourself into whatever position is going to work for you, and stay here. If you've got a little bit more, we're here for about 30 seconds. If you've got a little bit more in you, close your ribs, and close your ribs so much, oh, I'd love to see that love heart, to lift up and down with control. You've got 10 seconds to go, and we've done this for 30 seconds. Woohoo! Almost there. 1 more forward. 1 more back. Lift up and over. Have a lovely big stretch for your last few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then bend the knees. coming back to our mermaid. Great job. So we'll keep building on our Vashisthasana, our side plank, all about weight bearing. And by the end of this quarantine time, we are going to be so strong. So again, find your best place for your mermaid to get this lovely stretch through your side waist. Big breaths in, let the tension out. Big breaths in and out. Beautiful. We'll just go on to our spine twist. So feet together, and as I keep saying and will keep saying, for most of us, sitting up on a blanket, a rolled up blanket, or even rolling up the back of your mat is a great idea, just to give you a little bit of elevation so you've got a nice neutral pelvis here. Lift the hands up, tuck the tailbone a little bit so you can feel that lower belly lifting. So we've got those beautiful flat back here in the curve of the back. Flex the feet. If you did happen to have a block or a ball, absolutely pop it between your ankles to get those inner thighs working and the side waist working even more. And then once you have got yourself set up, let's bring our arms straight up. All about the hips staying still. We're rotating to open to the right, looking over the shoulder if you want to, or looking straight ahead. And the left, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. You can absolutely pick up your cans if you would like to add them at this point. You could now start looking over your shoulder to add a little bit more rotation here. Keep squeezing your block, keep lifting your knees, keep squeezing your outer ankles in to make sure that your hips are completely still. If this is okay for you, now try this with long arms. And hey, here's a benefit. We probably don't have someone we're going to be bumping into. We're not all squashed. Beautiful. Keep squeezing the legs together, lifting up the knees, pulling in your inner ankles, lifting up. We're wringing this waist out. Wringing the waist out. Beautiful. Okay. And we can go on to saw. So again, you can open those legs a little bit wider this time. If you did happen to have anything at home like a roller that you could pop between your legs, you might have something that just can give you a little bit more inner thigh action. You absolutely could use that. We did this at the wall last week, so that's also another really good option to push your feet up against the wall. Arms out again, big breath in, exhale, twist. We're soaring off the little baby toe, lifting up, exhale, soaring off the little baby toe, adding a little bit of a pulse. Exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale, pause. We can add a variation. You can look over your shoulder and you can turn your palm so that you can look at your palm if you want to add a little bit more twist here. So inhale, extend, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, exhale, inhale, twist. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale. We're wringing out that waist one more time in each direction. And up we come. Beautiful. Woohoo! Let's finish our class getting up to standing. So we'll take seal. So seal, rolling like a ball, roll ups and roll downs, all are exercises that use these side waists. So if you find those tricky, hopefully as your side waist gets stronger, these exercises will become more attainable for you. Yeah, hey, yes. I hope so too. So let's bring, if you haven't seen seal before, knees in, onto the toes, dive your hands in between and holding onto the shins, rock onto the back of the sacrum and tap your legs together. So that's when we get to use those sideways with that action. Then we'll roll onto our back, using control to just rest the shoulders, clap the legs again, roll back up. So 3 or 4 times, and then we'll finish standing up, ta-da, at the top of the class. Okay, dive the hands in, holding on to your shins, roll back, exhale, tap, 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 inhale, tap, 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 exhale, tap, 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 inhale, tap, 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 exhale, tap, 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 inhale, tap, 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 exhale, tap, 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 inhale. Getting ready to stand up now, exhale, open the legs, squat, up to standing, yay! You guys keep standing, I'll pop down so I can see you. So fantastic for you to join me and great to get moving, to work on these side waists. Come join me on Friday. And if you can, get your Swiss ball or a blue ball or some other ball, get it pumped up so that you are ready to use that. So that gives you a goal for the week. You've got some time to find a big Swiss ball, bet it's in your garage somewhere, get it puffed up, and otherwise a blue ball. And we'll continue the journey of the side waist. Have a great week, everyone. Do comment, let me know who you're practicing with, let me know where you're practicing, and let me know if you're enjoying these. And otherwise, I will see you on Friday. Ka kite anō whānau.